This will reduce the amount of paper we use. This will also bring about efficiency. I'm aware, for instance, that Wi-Fi connectivity, that is internet connectivity, is at its lowest, lowest worth in Nigeria, in the sense that there's no Wi-Fi connectivity, there's no internet connectivity in most communities in Nigeria. Unfortunately and ironically, in a country like Rwanda, which is just coming out of war of about 10 years, and which does not have petroleum, nor has any other resource, internet is what they use, and their country is today prosperous. One of the things they have succeeded to do in Rwanda is that the country has 4,000 public buses. And in all of these 4,000 public buses, there's internet connectivity. So that if you are on any of these buses going to any part of the country, whether rural or urban, you can have your laptop and have access immediately to the internet. Again, with regard to communication from one ministry to the other and from one officer to the other, instead of carrying files about, you log onto your internet and get communication done. This is part of what is called e-governance. E-governance brings about more efficiency and cost reduction, and of course it also eliminates corruption. If payments have to be done for government services, you don't have to use cash, you use your e-banking facility, either on your laptop or at any ATM facility to make payments. With that, it will be very difficult for any leakage to occur in government revenue. One important agency, of course, is the NIPOS. We all know that NIPOS is virtually in every community in Nigeria. At least at the last count, we have NIPOS facilities in 2,500 locations across the 36 states of Nigeria. NIPOS was very well known and was very well patronized before GSM came. But when GSM came, of course, it reduced the relevance of writing letters, because the person you are writing a letter to, which letter may take a week or two before it gets there, you can put on your GSM and connect with wherever you want to connect. What we're trying to do, when GSM came, that was reduced in terms of communication. What we're trying to do is now to use the NIPOS as a diversified conglomerate. We're trying to introduce not only the sustenance of writing letters and selling stamps. We are also trying to now create what will be called NIPOS Bank, to allow for rural inclusiveness in financial services. So that if you have your parents in the rural area where there's a post office but where there's no bank, you can go to the post office, send money to them, pay money into that, and in real time the money is being received in your rural village. That's one of the things we are trying to do. Of course, we will also have NIPOS Insurance to take care of insurance services. Again, we will have NIPOS Logistics and Transport, because there's in all countries, usually the postal service has the largest network of vehicles for transportation, because letters must have to be transported from one location to the other. We think that we can exploit these means to try to ensure that NIPOS also gets into logistics and transport business. Another area is, if you look at the various NIPOS facilities, there's extra land in virtually every location. We think that we would now have in NIPOS properties where private sector people will be invited to engage with government in building on united land, high-rise office buildings, high-rise residential buildings, malls and shopping complexes on a PPP basis. Of course, this will bring in a lot of money for government. These are some of the things we are doing with NIPOS, and for the first time, to appoint a new Postmaster General. Rather than using the old method of promotion, we have opened up opportunities for all those who feel they have capacity to run IPOs at the diversified level which we are thinking of. 47 people applied, both from within the postal services and from outside, from the private sector. 21 were shortlisted, and at the end of the day, one person emerged. As soon as approval is given for the appointment of that person, I can assure you that NIPOS will become a very big business conglomerate, which will be run more business-like than it has always been. And the last point I want to make, with your permission, is we do have what is called Digital Bridge Institute. Digital Bridge Institute is a technical institute to train middle-level manpower. Usually, initially it was for NITEL Training School. This has been transformed into Digital Bridge Institute, and it has location in 5 cities across Nigeria. We are trying to transform, by the grace of God, this Digital Bridge Institute into the first ever ICT university on the soil of Africa. By doing this, we will be able to produce the high-level manpower for the ICT industry, not only across Nigeria, but on the African continent. I hope that at the appropriate time, opportunities will be opened for our children to enlist in this university for the training for top jobs in the ICT industry. Thank you. I await an opportunity to answer questions during question time. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We've now come to the end of the presentation stage of this town hall meeting. As you know, the organizers, the Honorable Minister of Information, made his presentation. He focused on 3 areas: security, the anti-corruption war, and the economy. The other distinguished, honorable ministers also talked about their ministries, the challenges they faced, the achievements they've had. We will now move to the next phase, which is the question and comments. For this purpose, we are dividing the hall into 2 halves, both the front going all the way to the back. For those in front, there are microphones at various points. You raise your hand. Between the 2 of us, myself and my co-moderator will identify you. My co-moderator will take charge of the right half. I'm taking charge of the second half. You identify yourself, your affiliation. Please be very, very brief. If it is a question, go directly to the point. If it is a comment you want to make it as short as possible. And of course, we will all be very civil in our language. Once you do that, we will take 5 questions, because we are going to close by 1:30, and it's now already 12:15. So when we finish the first round of questions, if there's still time, we'll go for another round. So with that, raise your hand.
Okay, thank you very much, Mohammed Haruna.